Rain fell heavily over the city, making the streets shine like dark mirrors. Alex, a tired single father, walked fast with his work bag in one hand and an umbrella in the other. He just finished a long shift at the factory, and all he wanted was to go home to his son Leo. The night was cold, and the wind pushed the rain into his face, but Alex kept walking, thinking only about getting some rest. He passed an empty alley, but then he heard a tiny voice, soft and shaking. "Sir, Mommy can't walk." Alex stopped, confused. He looked into the alley, expecting maybe a lost child or someone needing help, but what he saw made his heart stop. A small girl stood there, half hidden in the shadows, her skin pale with a faint blue glow, her eyes large and shining like glass stones. She was clearly not human. Her arms were thin, her hair long and silver like moonlight, and she hugged a small blanket to her chest. Behind her, he saw a woman collapsed on the ground, breathing very weakly. The woman looked similar to the girl. Same glowing skin and silver hair, but she was injured. Alex felt fear rise in his chest. He whispered, What are you?" The girl stepped closer, her voice trembling. "Please, sir. Mommy can't walk. Please help us." Alex looked around, but the street was empty. No cars, no people, only the sound of rain. He did not know what to do. Every smart part of his mind told him to run, to avoid trouble. But when he looked at the little girl, shaking and crying, he felt something else. He felt the same protective feeling he had when Leo cried as a baby. He slowly walked into the alley. The girl stepped aside, letting him see the woman clearly. She had strange marks on her arms, glowing red like burns from energy. Alex knelt beside her and checked her breathing. It was slow and uneven, but she was alive. What happened to her? He asked. The girl looked around nervously, her eyes full of fear. "They chased us. Bad men. Mommy protected me. But she fell." "Bad men?" Alex repeated, confused. "Where are they now?" The girl shook her head. "I don't know, but they will come. They always come." Alex did not like the sound of that. His skin prickled, and the alley suddenly felt colder. He looked toward the rooftops, and for a moment, he thought he saw a shadow move, something watching, something patient, something not human either. The feeling of being hunted settled over him like a heavy blanket. He knew he had only seconds to decide. Leave them here and save himself, or take a risk and help them. Leo's face came into his mind. He thought about what kind of man he wanted his son to see him as, someone who walked away, or someone who protected the weak. He sighed and lifted the injured woman into his arms. She was lighter than he expected, almost weightless, as if her bones were hollow. The girl gasped softly. You will help us?" Alex nodded. "I don't know what trouble you're in, but I can't leave you here." The girl gave a small, shaky smile, one that made her seem even younger and more fragile. She grabbed Alex's sleeve and walked beside him as he carried her mother out of the alley. The rain hit them hard, but Alex moved fast, heading toward the main street. But before they reached the corner, the girl suddenly froze. Her glowing eyes widened in terror. She pointed behind them. "Sir, they found us." Alex turned slowly, his heart pounding. At the entrance of the alley, a tall figure stood, covered in dark armor that shone under the streetlight. Its helmet had a single red eye glowing in the center, watching them without moving. Another figure climbed onto the rooftop above, raining water running off its armor like silver. Alex felt the girl grab his hand tightly. He swallowed hard and backed away. "Come on," he whispered to her. "We need to get out of here." As they ran into the stormy night, the armored figures took one step forward in perfect sync. They did not speak, they did not shout, they only followed, silent and deadly. And in that moment, Alex understood something clearly. His life had just changed forever. Asterisk. The rain hit the streets like falling needles as Alex ran with the alien woman in his arms, the little girl holding tight to his sleeve. Behind them, the armored hunters moved with slow confidence, as if they already knew Alex could not escape. The red eye on their helmets glowed brighter, tracking every motion, scanning through smoke and rain like it was nothing. Alex turned the corner fast, almost slipping. His heart pounded so loudly he could hear nothing else for a moment. But then another sound returned, a soft, frightened voice beside him. "Sir, is Mommy going to die?" The alien girl looked up at him with shaking eyes, rain mixing with tears on her glowing cheeks. Alex breathed hard, trying to stay calm. "No, I won't let that happen, all right? Just stay close." He did not know if that was true, but he had to say it. He had to keep her from breaking down. He had to keep himself from breaking down. They reached a narrow back street behind a row of small shops, a dumpster, broken crates, old cardboard boxes. Everything looked messy and forgotten, but for now it gave them a moment of cover. Alex laid the alien mother gently on the ground. Her chest rose and fell in shallow breaths, glowing softly beneath her skin, like a dying light. The little girl knelt beside her mother and held her hand. Energy flickered between their fingers like tiny blue sparks. Alex stared, amazed and worried at the same time. "What is happening?" he asked. "She's trying to talk to me, but her mind is weak. She is hurting," the girl whispered before Alex could respond. A faint metallic click echoed through the alley, the sound of something stepping on metal. Silent but heavy, Alex froze, pulling the girl close. He peeked around the dumpster, and his stomach twisted. Hunter stood at the far end of the street, scanning left and right. The rain slid off its armor like oil, leaving trails of silver lines down its body. It lifted its head slowly, and that single red eye brightened. It had found their trail. "We need to move now," Alex whispered. "Can you walk?" The girl nodded quickly. They lifted the alien mother again, this time the girl helping guide her arms. Her mother's weight felt even lighter now. As if she was fading away, they ran through the back alleys, crossing shadows and puddles, moving through the maze of the city like hunted animals. Every time Alex thought they had gained distance, another echo followed, a metallic footstep, a pulse of red light reflecting off wet walls. The hunters were spreading out, surrounding them. Finally, Alex reached the side entrance of his apartment building. It was an old brick structure with broken lights and rusted railings, but it was home. He unlocked the door fast and pushed it open with his shoulder, carrying the alien woman inside. The girl hurried behind him, closing the door softly, as if afraid even the air might betray them. The hallway was dim, lit only by a flickering bulb. Alex moved up the stairs quietly, hoping no neighbor would hear anything. When he reached his floor, he unlocked his apartment door and rushed inside. Warm light filled the small living room. Toys on the carpet, a drawing taped to the wall, Leo's blanket on the sofa. It felt safe for a moment. It felt normal, but nothing about tonight was normal. Leo stepped out of his room, rubbing his eyes. "Dad? You're home late. Who's that?" His voice stopped when he saw the glowing woman and the strange girl beside Alex. His eyes widened. "Dad, are they aliens?" Alex did not have time to explain everything. "Yes, and we need to help them," he said quickly. Leo stared at the little girl, and she stared back, both nervous and curious. "Hi," Leo said softly. "Hi," the alien girl whispered, before anything more could be said. The lights in the apartment flickered. A deep hum ran through the building walls. Alex's breath caught. The girl grabbed his hand. "They found us. They feel energy. They follow my light." A loud knock shook the front door. 3 slow knocks, powerful and heavy. Leo jumped back in fear. Alex reached for him and pulled him close. The knocking came again, louder. Then a voice, metallic and cold, spoke from the other side. "Return the child. She belongs to us." Alex felt his blood freeze. The little alien girl started crying silently, covering her ears. Her mother lay on the couch, breathing weakly, unable to move. Alex looked at the door, then at the children. He knew he had no choice. He could not open that door. He had to run again. He had to protect them. He grabbed Leo's hand. Then the girl's hand. "Come on," Alex whispered. "We use the fire exit. We move now." The knocking turned into pounding. The doorframe began to crack. And Alex knew this was only the beginning. The pounding on the apartment door grew louder, shaking the walls like a giant fist trying to break the world open. Alex pulled Leo close with one arm and held the alien girl's hand with the other, his breath fast and tight, the little alien. Girl trembled as she looked at the cracking door, her glowing skin dimming with fear. Her mother lay on the couch, unable to move, her faint blue light flickering like a candle in the wind. "Dad, what's happening?" Leo whispered, his voice shaking. Alex did not answer, not because he didn't want to, but because he didn't know what to say. What words existed for this moment? What could explain armored hunters breaking into their home? The doorframe split with a loud snap, wood falling onto the floor. A thin red beam scanned through the crack, moving slowly across the walls, the ceiling, the children, the alien girl. Gasped and grabbed Alex's arm. "They marked us. They will not stop." Ever, Alex made the only choice he could. "Fire exit now," he whispered. Pulling both children with him, he lifted the alien mother again. Even though his muscles ached from fear and exhaustion, she was almost weightless now, like she was fading away entirely. They slipped into the kitchen where an old metal door led to the outside stairway. Alex pushed the door open quietly, praying it wouldn't squeak. For once, luck helped him. The hinges stayed silent, and a rush of cold night air hit their faces. Rain still fell hard, splashing off the metal steps. Alex stepped outside, guiding the kids down the stairway. The sound of thunder mixed with the crashing inside the apartment as the hunters finally broke in. Leo flinched at every noise, his small hand shaking in his father's grip. The alien girl turned her glowing eyes upward. "They are in your home. They feel our energy. They will come here next." Alex swallowed hard. "We'll be gone before they figure it out," he whispered. Though he wasn't sure if he believed himself, down the metal stairs they went, feet slipping, hearts pounding. Alex carried the alien mother tight against his chest, trying not to let her fall. They reached the bottom just as a bright red light appeared above them. A hunter had stepped into the apartment kitchen, its glowing eye sweeping the fire exit. The alien girl tugged Alex's sleeve hard. "Run," she whispered, her voice breaking. Alex didn't waste time. He ran with both children along the side of the building, away from the line of sight. A sharp blast hit the metal door above them, sending sparks raining down. Leo covered his head and screamed. Alex lifted him with one arm and kept running. The alien girl kept up, her small legs moving fast despite fear shaking her whole body. They reached the dark parking lot behind the building, where only broken streetlights flickered. Shadows moved everywhere, tall and thin, not all of them human. Alex spotted his old van near the alley. He rushed to it and opened the back door, laying the alien mother carefully inside. "Get in," he ordered the kids, and they obeyed without a single question. Alex climbed into the driver's seat. Breath shaking, hands trembling, he tried to start the engine. But the van made a coughing sound. Not now, he thought, panic squeezing his throat. He turned the key again, still nothing. The alien girl leaned forward from the back seat and placed her glowing hand on the dashboard. Blue light spread across the van like tiny stars. "Try now," she said softly. Alex turned the key one more time. The engine roared to life instantly. "Good girl," he whispered, amazed and grateful. He hit the gas and drove out of the parking lot, the tires sliding on the wet road. But as the van turned the corner, a figure dropped down from a rooftop, landing with a metallic thud right in front of them. The red eye glowed brighter, targeting them. Alex swerved hard, barely avoiding hitting the hunter, the van shaking dangerously. The alien girl stared out the window, her voice trembling. "They want me, not mommy." "Me?" Leo looked at her with wide eyes. "Why? What did you do?" The girl hugged herself. I am born with power. Power they want to control. Power they want to use. Alex kept driving, his jaw tight. No one is taking you, he said firmly. Not while I'm alive. Behind them, 3 more hunters began chasing the van, their hover discs shining. In the rain, moving like silent predators through the storm, the red lights on their armor flickered like warning signs of death. The alien girl looked at Alex, her voice small but clear. Sir, they will not stop. Unless we reach the ship. Alex blinked in confusion. What ship? The girl pointed ahead, toward the distant industrial zone. Mommy hid our ship. She said a human might help us reach it. She said someone brave would come. Alex felt a chill run through him. A human brave chosen. The night around him darkened. The hunters closed in. And the truth settled in his heart. His life was no longer ordinary, and none of them were safe, but he would fight. He would not let those monsters take the girl or her dying mother. He pressed the gas harder, the van speeding through the rain as the hunters closed in from all sides. This was just the beginning of the chase. Rain hammered the windshield as Alex drove faster, the old van shaking with every turn. Behind them, the hunters glided on their hover discs, moving silently through the storm like shadows of metal and fire. Their red eyes stayed locked on the van, unblinking, unbroken, unhuman. Leo gripped the seatbelt with both hands, his small body shaking with every jolt. The alien girl sat beside him, hugging her knees, glowing faintly with fear. Her mother lay weakly in the back, her light flickering like it was fading away. Alex's heart pounded as he stared at the rearview mirror. 3 hunters were closing in fast, their hover discs glowing underneath like burning rings. They were not rushing, they were confident. They believed escape was impossible. A sharp red beam blasted past the van, scorching the asphalt, sending steam into the air. Leo screamed. The alien girl covered her ears, her glow dimming to a frightened blue. Hang on! Alex shouted, turning the van sharply into a narrow road. But the hunters followed instantly, not slowed at all. The girl whispered in a shaking voice. They follow energy. My energy. They can feel me anywhere. We cannot hide. Alex gritted his teeth. Then we won't hide. We'll outrun them. But he knew those words were lies. This van was old, tired, rusted. The hunters were built for this, fast and unbreakable. One hunter lifted its arm, charging a bright red sphere of energy. The air shook, the road trembled. Alex shouted, "Hold on!" and swerved, but the blast still hit the back of the van. The metal screeched, smoke rising from the impact. The kid slipped sideways, Leo hitting the door with a gasp. The alien girl's eyes widened in terror, tears forming. She reached out and touched Leo's arm, blue sparks rising from her fingers. His pain eased instantly, like the shock never happened. But something else happened too. The girl's glow brightened too bright, too fast. Her skin shimmered blue and silver, waves of light swirling around her. Her breathing grew quick and panicked. I cannot hold it. I cannot stop it, she cried. Alex felt heat spreading in the van, like invisible hands pressing against the walls. Hey, it's okay, calm down, he said, voice shaking. Just breathe. You're safe. But she shook her head hard, trembling. No, when I am scared. The power wakes. I cannot control it. They will feel it. They already feel it. The hunters moved in closer, their red lights pulsing faster. Sensing the rising energy, another blast hit the road beside the van, shaking it violently. Alex struggled to keep control of the steering wheel. Then the worst happened. One hunter swooped down low, its hover disc inches above the road, and smashed the side of the van with brutal force. The van spun, sliding across the wet road, tires screaming, water spraying everywhere. Leo screamed for his father. Alex grabbed the wheel tightly, trying to steady them. In that moment of chaos, the alien girl's light exploded outward. Not in fire, not in destruction, but in a shimmering blue shield that wrapped around the van. A hunter fired a massive blast straight at the van. The shield absorbed it fully, bending like liquid light, then snapping back into shape. Alex stared. In shock, Leo stared in awe. The hunters froze for a moment, confused. The little alien girl hugged herself tightly, crying, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I can't turn it off." The shield flickered violently, shaking the air around them. The hunters adjusted quickly, aiming again. This time with more power. Alex knew the shield wouldn't last forever. He shouted to the girl, "Listen, you're protecting us. You're doing great. Stay with me, okay?" But her breathing grew faster, out of control, her glow going from bright to unstable. "I am too scared. When I am scared, the power goes wild." Her mother, weak but conscious for a moment, reached out from the back, her voice soft like wind. "Luma, breathe. Remember what I taught you. Feel the light, not the fear." The girl Luma looked back at her mother, tears falling. She took a slow breath, then another. The shield steadied, glowing brighter and smoother, but the hunters did not stop. They launched forward again, firing blast after blast. Each strike hit the shield, sending ripples through the air like waves in water. Alex made a choice. He pushed the gas pedal down as hard as he could, the van roaring forward with all its dying strength. "We get to the ship," he said, voice firm. "No matter what." Luma looked at him, her glow steady but her eyes frightened. "It is far, in the old industrial zone, but if we reach it, we can leave. We can be safe." Behind them, the hunters formed a triangle formation, closing in, ready to attack together. The shield flickered again, weaker this time. Luma gasped as her power drained. "I cannot hold it for long." Alex gripped the wheel, eyes sharp. "Then we make every second count." The van raced into the storm, hunters closing in like metallic ghosts, and somewhere deep inside the girl, the power continued to awaken. A power the hunters feared, a power Alex did not yet understand, a power that might save them or destroy them. Asterisk. The van sped through the storm, tires sliding on the wet road as Alex pushed the engine harder than it had been pushed before. Behind them, the hunters moved like silent red shadows, never slowing, never hesitating, their hover discs cutting through the night air with a cold hum. Luma, the little alien girl, pressed her hands against the van wall, trying to keep the shimmering shield alive. But the light around her flickered every few seconds, growing weaker as her breathing became more uneven. Leo sat beside her, holding her arm with stubborn courage, whispering, "You can do this. Just a little more." Luma gave him a trembling smile, but her energy was fading fast. Alex's eyes stayed fixed on the dark path ahead. "What exactly am I looking for?" he asked, raising his voice over the engine. Luma pointed shakily toward the distant industrial zone, filled with old factories, broken warehouses, and forgotten scrapyards. "Our ship is hidden underground. Mommy left it there. We must reach the old metal refinery building with the broken tower." Alex squinted through the rain, searching for the tower. Lightning flashed, and for a second he saw it, a tall metal structure leaning sideways. "Half collapsed, that one?" he asked. Luma nodded weakly. The hunters fired again, a red blast hitting the road beside the van and sending debris flying. The shield absorbed some of the impact, but cracks of blue light spread across it. Luma gasped, falling back into her seat. I cannot hold the shield anymore," she whispered, her glow almost gone. Alex clenched his jaw. "Hold on, we're almost there." He turned the van sharply into the old factory grounds, driving through a broken gate that screeched as they passed. Rusty metal beams towered overhead, and long-forgotten machines stood like dead giants in the shadows. Alex skidded the van to a stop near the collapsed tower. "Everyone out!" he shouted. Leo jumped out first and helped Luma, who could barely walk now. Alex lifted her mother, who felt even lighter than before, almost like she was disappearing little by little. The woman opened her eyes for a second, glowing faintly. There is little time, she whispered, her voice thinner than air. Luma pointed toward a pile of metal sheets leaning against a wall. There, behind that hidden door. Alex hurried to the pile and pulled the sheets away, revealing a small control panel covered in dust. Luma placed her hand near it, blue sparks dancing between her fingers. The panel lit up, glowing softly, and a deep rumbling sound echoed under their feet. A hidden metal door slid open in the ground, revealing a ramp leading into a dark underground chamber. Alex carried her mother inside as Leo helped Luma walk. The chamber was cold and silent, the air smelling like old wires and forgotten worlds. Then Alex saw it. A small alien ship rested in the center of the chamber, shaped like a silver tear with blue lines running across its surface. It looked damaged, cracked in places like it had survived something terrible. But even in its broken state, it felt powerful, ancient, and alive, Leo whispered. Whoa, this is real. This is really real. Alex felt the same mixture of fear and wonder, but there was no time for amazement. The hunters had followed them all night, and they would not stop now. Luma stumbled toward the ship, placing her glowing hand on its surface. The blue lines brightened instantly, spreading across the craft like veins waking up. But the light faded again just as quickly. The ship needs energy, Luma whispered. It needs to connect with a mind. A human mind. Mommy said only one human can activate it. Only one with the right spirit. Alex blinked, confused. What does that even mean? Luma looked at him with wide glowing eyes. She said a human who protects without fear, even when scared. She said someone brave would come. Before Alex could answer, the ground above them shook. Dust falling from the ceiling, the hunters had arrived at the refinery. Their boots hitting the floor above like thunder. The alien mother reached for Alex weakly, her voice soft but full of urgency. You must activate the ship. You are the one. Take my daughter and my people's hope. Save her. Alex stared at her, speechless. He was just a father, a worker, an ordinary man. He wasn't a hero. He wasn't chosen. He didn't understand why an alien ship wanted him. But then he looked at Leo. Shaking but brave, he looked at Luma. Exhausted, terrified, but trusting him completely. He looked at the hunters closing in. Red lights glowing brighter through the cracks above. His choice was already made. Alex stepped toward the ship and placed his hand on it. Warmth spread through him instantly, flowing up his arm, into his chest, into his mind. The ship pulsed with bright blue light, stronger than before. Luma gasped in awe. It accepts you. It accepts you. It wakes for you. But the hunters broke through the ceiling at that exact moment. Landing inside the chamber, weapons raised, moving in perfect deadly formation, their red eyes locked on Luma. They had one mission, one target, one purpose. Alex felt the ship humming under his palm, waiting for his command. He took a deep breath and whispered, "Then let's protect these kids." The ship lit up with a burst of blue light, as the chamber filled with the sound of a rising energy, and the battle for their lives began. The underground chamber shook as the hunters landed inside, their metal boots slamming against the floor. With cold, perfect rhythm, their single red eyes brightened, glowing like burning stars inside the darkness. Alex stood in front of the alien ship with his hand still touching the glowing surface, feeling energy rise through his arm like warm electricity. Leo held Luma close, both children trembling as the hunters took slow steps toward them. Luma pressed her back against the ship, fear making her glow flicker weakly. "They found us. They always find us," she whispered, voice shaking like a fragile leaf in the wind. Her mother lay behind Alex, her breathing so soft that it barely moved her chest, her light dimming more with every second. The hunters stopped only a few meters away, forming a half circle, blocking every escape path. Their leader stepped forward, taller, armor darker, red eye sharper than the others. A low, metallic voice echoed through the chamber. "Return the child. Her power belongs to us." Alex's hands curled into fists. I don't know what you want with her. But you're not taking her, he said, voice steady even though his heart pounded like a drum inside his chest. The leader tilted its head, scanning Alex with a flickering red beam. You are human, weak, unnecessary. Step aside, Leo shouted. He's not weak. His voice shaking with anger and fear. Luma clung to him, eyes filled with tears. You do not understand. Humans have strong hearts. Mommy said that, she whispered, glaring at the hunters even though she shook from head to toe. The leader raised its arm, charging a sphere of red energy. The room grew hotter. The air crackled like fire waiting to be unleashed. Alex didn't step back. He pressed his palm harder onto the ship, and something inside the craft awakened like a sleeping giant opening its eyes. A deep hum filled the chamber, echoing off the metal walls. Blue lines across the ship brightened, spreading outward like veins of light. The hunters paused, confused, their heads tilted as if listening to some silent signal in their helmets. Leader lowered its arm slightly. This reaction. Impossible. A human cannot activate the core. Alex didn't know what the core was, didn't care what the rules were. He only cared about the two children watching him with desperate hope. He took another deep breath and whispered, "Protect them." The ship responded instantly. A shockwave of blue energy burst outward from Alex's hand, sweeping through the room like a rolling storm. The hunters staggered back, their armor sparking, their joints glitching from the sudden surge. Leo grabbed Luma and pulled her behind a metal crate as the chamber lit up with swirling blue light. Luma's eyes widened. The ship listens to him. It chooses him. He's the one Mommy spoke of. Alex felt the energy climb higher, spreading through his chest, filling him with courage he didn't know he had. But he could also feel the ship demanding something: focus, intention, a purpose. He had to guide it. Hurry, he whispered. Shield us. Light rose from the ground, forming a curved blue barrier around Alex, Leo, Luma, and the dying alien mother. The hunters regained balance, their armor crackling, their weapons glowing brighter in response. They raised their arms and fired together, sending a storm of red blasts toward the shield. Each blast hit like an explosion, shaking the chamber, showering the room with sparks. Leo covered his ears, Luma held her head, and Alex stayed firm with his hand on the ship, forcing the shield to stay strong. But the hunters were powerful. Their blasts grew stronger. The shield wavered, bending inward, lines of blue light shaking like they would collapse any second. Luma crawled to her mother, her small voice breaking. Mommy, please help. I am not strong enough. I cannot stop them. Her mother opened her eyes slightly, the blue glow in them almost gone. You must trust him. Trust the human. He protects you. He protects all life. Just like our people once did. Luma looked at Alex, who was shaking under the pressure of the shield, sweat dripping down his face. He looked like he was in pain, but he didn't let go. Not even for a second. The hunters took another step forward, gathering energy for one final combined blast. The leader aimed at the shield, sparks building around its arm like crackling red fire. This ends now, the metallic voice growled. Alex felt the shield buckling. He felt the ship's energy trembling inside him. He felt fear rise, but he also felt something stronger: determination, anger, hope. Slammed his other hand onto the ship, shouting, "Then it ends with me protecting them." A massive burst of blue light shot upward from the ship, blasting through the ceiling and into the stormy sky. The chamber shook violently as a wave of energy exploded outward in all directions. The hunters were thrown back like broken dolls, their armor sparking, their red eyes flickering. Leo hid his face in Luma's shoulder. Luma covered her mother with her own small body. And Alex stood like a guardian made of light, holding the shield together with everything he had. When the energy finally settled, the hunters struggled to rise, their systems glitching, their formation broken. For the first time they looked unsure, even afraid. The leader stared at Alex, its red eye dimming. This is not the end, human. We will return. Alex stepped forward, eyes fierce with new strength. "Then you better come prepared," he said, his voice low and unbroken. The hunters retreated into the shadows of the broken chamber, vanishing as quickly as they had appeared. The shield faded, and Alex collapsed to one knee. Exhausted but alive, Luma rushed to him, her glowing hands shaking. "You saved us. The ship chose you. Daddy said humans have strong hearts." He was right. Alex looked at her gently, breathing hard. "This isn't over, is it?" Luma shook her head slowly, eyes full of worry. "No. They will return, stronger, angry. And we must leave before they find us again." Leo looked at the glowing ship, then at Alex. "Dad, can you fly it?" Alex stared at the pulsing blue lines, feeling the warmth of the ship beneath his hand. He didn't know how, but the ship responded to him. It trusted him. It waited for him. He stood slowly, wiped the sweat from his brow, and whispered, "I guess we're about to find out." The underground chamber slowly filled with calm blue light as the ship settled from the massive energy burst. For a moment, everything was still. No blasts, no hunters. Only the soft hum of alien technology waking from a long sleep. Alex leaned against the ship, panting, sweat mixing with rainwater on his face. His muscles shook from exhaustion, but he remained standing. He had to, because two children were watching him with hope in their eyes. Luma walked slowly toward him, her small hands glowing faintly. "You protected us. The ship chose right," she whispered, her voice soft but full of gratitude. Leo stepped beside her, looking at Alex like he was the strongest man in the world. "Dad, I knew you could do it." Alex tried to smile, but his heart felt heavy. Behind them, Luma's mother lay on the floor, her light fading more with every breath. Luma rushed to her side, falling to her knees. Mommy, stay with me. Please." The alien woman opened her eyes gently. Her glowing silver hair spread around her like a fading halo. "My little star. Do not cry," she whispered, her voice trembling like a fragile wind. "I am proud of you. You did not give up. You found safety." Luma shook her head hard, tears falling down her cheeks. "No, Mommy, you will come with us. Daddy will help. The ship will help. You will get better." The woman's smile was soft and full of love. "My journey ends here, but yours continues." Alex knelt beside them, his heart sinking. "Isn't there anything we can do?" he asked, voice cracking. The woman touched his hand weakly, her skin cool and light as air. "You did enough. You saved her. You saved us." Her glow dimmed slowly, her body becoming softer, lighter, almost turning into pure blue dust. Luma cried out, hugging her mother even as she faded. "Mommy, please don't go. Please." Leo wrapped his arms around Luma, holding her tightly as she sobbed. Alex felt tears stinging his own eyes. He could save her from hunters, he could activate a ship, but he could not save her mother. The alien woman gave one final smile. "Take care of her. She chooses you." Her voice faded into silence. Her body shimmered like starlight, then dissolved into tiny blue sparks that floated upward like glowing fireflies. Disappearing into the ship's light, Luma collapsed, crying. Softly, Alex pulled her close with gentle arms. "I'm here. I'm not going anywhere," he whispered. Leo hugged both of them, silent tears rolling down his face for a long moment. The chamber felt like a quiet world of grief and light. Then a soft hum rose from the ship, the walls brightened, and a holographic star map appeared above them, glowing across the entire ceiling. Leo gasped. Alex stared in awe. Luma wiped her tears and looked up with wide eyes. Stars, planets, paths, unknown galaxies, symbols from a forgotten alien language floating like living light. What is all this?" Alex whispered. Luma touched a small glowing star with her finger. "This is my home, my mother's home. Our people's home." Another symbol flashed and a line connected Earth to a distant cluster of stars. Luma looked at Alex, her voice soft but sure. "Earth is part of an old alliance, a forgotten one. My mother said humans once stood with the stars. Long ago, Alex frowned, confused but fascinated. And why are the hunters after you? Luma took a shaky breath. My power can wake the Alliance again. The hunters do not want peace, they want control. If the Alliance rises, they lose everything. Leo stepped forward, pointing at the glowing map. So, what now? Luma placed her hand on Alex's. If you choose, we can leave, we can fly this ship, we can reach the stars, or we can hide on Earth, but they will come back. Stronger than before, Alex looked at both children, his son, this little alien girl now clinging to him like he was her last family. His tired heart softened. He could not replace her real mother, but he could protect her. He could give her a home. He could give both kids a chance to live. He walked to the ship's entrance, placing his hand on the glowing panel. The door opened like a silver flower, spreading light across the chamber. Leo grabbed Luma's hand. Come on. We go together, he said with a small smile. Luma nodded, wiping her tears. Yes. Together. Alex turned back toward the map, eyes focused and determined. This ship listens to me. So it looks like we're not running anymore. He took a deep breath. We're going to find the truth. We're going to protect each other. And if the hunters come again... The ship's engines rumbled beneath their feet, glowing bright blue. Alex finished his sentence with steady courage. We'll be ready for them. As the ramp closed and the ship began to rise, blue light filled the chamber like a new sunrise. Luma clung to Alex's arm, whispering, Dad. Thank you. Alex's heart tightened, but he nodded gently. You're family now. Both of you. The ship shot upward into the stormy sky, cutting through clouds and rain, leaving Earth behind in a streak of blue light. A new journey had begun. A new family had formed, and somewhere deep in the darkness, the hunters prepared to follow. The story of a single human father and a glowing alien child had only just started.